Look at that. Look at that. There you go.
Up there comes another one.
Police are runs now. Got it? Okay.
And left for the blue. Like signature Kaiser.
431. Rain build up at 431. Bob? Last answer. Mike? Oh, where you drive today? Hey, sorry. That's right. Oh, yeah.
Say that I could fit it in. You're a pretty tall guy. You look like you had a lot of headroom.
Oh, there's plenty of room.
Yeah. A lot of room. How's the leg room in it? Fine. I mean, you feel a little scrunched because nothing is adjustable, but I've got a 6'5", 16-year-old, and he has no problem. Really? I've got a 1957 Isetta 300 sliding window coupe. It's got a single-cylinder, air-cooled engine, 13 horsepower, 4-speed. You shift it on the left side. Top speed supposedly is 53 miles an hour, and it gets 60 miles to the gallon. It's got a 3.5 gallon gas tank, and it weighs 770 pounds. Let me show you how the door opens and the steering moves. When you open the door, the steering is on a universal, so it opens up and it pivots, so it allows you to get in and out of the vehicle a lot easier. So then the procedure of getting in is you stand up, turn around, sit down, pull the steering wheel towards you to close the door. And in doing so, this latch is not, the door latch is not a latch that which you're slamming the door like you do on a normal car or the cars we're used to. You have to close the door and then physically rotate the latch to lock it in place. The ventilation system is rather unique in that it's very rudimentary for a flow-through ventilation. You've got the grills here, which only came on the Deluxe model. And on the inside, you just got sliding louvers there that you slide open, and boom, you've got flow-through ventilation. It is, being that it's an air-cooled engine, it's also got air heat and air defrost that's driven by the engine fan. So the defroster is this little nozzle here that comes up, and a little lever here flips down and it shoots it at your feet. Now most people know that the older Volkswagens weren't very good on heat. This is even worse, because this only has one cylinder putting out the heat, whereas at least the Volkswagen had 4 cylinders.
Tell me about the bugs.
Okay, the
Just say you occasionally get a bug through.
yeah, sometimes because of the rudimentary of the screen here, you sometimes get a bug coming right through at you. All of them came with a sunroof standard, and the best that we could figure out is that in the case of a front end accident where the door got jammed, that was your only way of getting out of the car. And so that's kind of unique on it. But the Isetta is actually the car that saved BMW from going bankrupt. Back in the 50s, after World War II, the BMW premium vehicles weren't selling readily in Europe because everybody wasn't making very much money. BMW bought the rights from this from ISO, which was a maker of refrigerators in Italy that designed this car, put their own engine in it, which is from their 250 motorcycle, and then they sold it they made it in 5 different countries and sold it around the world. They made 165,000 of these between 1955 and 1962, and it did save the company from going bankrupt.
That's amazing. Quite a story.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The engine cover off. There it is. Pretty simplistic.
Well, you're not going to.
What's it like owning a car that they would call an orphan car? I mean,
Well, it's somewhat unique, but it's similar to any type of vintage car, in that it's always a work in progress. There's always things to do on it because it's never completely done and it's never perfect. But it is kind of unique to have something that you don't see on the road all the time. You know, even though it's not like a 57 Chevy, which you'd see a ton of them throughout the year at the Dream Cruises and the hot rod shows and that. This is rather unique.
yeah. Do you enjoy the stares that you get, or do you get a lot of stares?
Yes, stares, smiles, and waves. And it just said smiles. You know, a lot of pointing, and you can see, if you could read their lips, they're always saying, "What is that?" Or "Look at that, that's so cute." What's neat about this show is that it's an auto show that's totally unlike all the others that you go to. You're in a park, you get to walk around, you get almost the touchy-feely of the cars, but you also see a lot of cars that you never get to see any other time. Cars that either I remember as a kid and I thought they were pretty neat, or I might have read about them and never got to see one. And so they're very unique vehicles here.
Yeah, there you go. Look at the sign. Okay, thanks, Andy. This guy wants to know if you want an interview. People here. Do you think South Line to here is far? 49. People here. Do you think South Line to here is far? 49. back up and do it again if you want.
That's okay. Thanks, though.
There's not much room under that hood. Back up and do it again if you want.
That's okay. Thanks, though.
There's not much room under that hood.